So good evening. Welcome to I think this is the 11th lesson that we are having in this artificial intelligence tools and application lesson on AI image tools and applications. So we're going to have this like 2 or 3. We have done the first one. This is the second part of it. And today we are going to kind of do a recap of what we did in the last class. The last class, we talked about how computer recognizes image, because without understanding, you'll be able to, manipulate images, using prompts. The objective is still to kind of realize what AI can do and then explore what we can make it do. Classes Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 to 8:30 p.m. So a little recap. One might ask, what are we actually doing when we are editing image, right? We are playing around the elements of what designs. That's the truth. Because if you don't understand, okay, for instance, you can ask an AI tool or agent to be able to generate something. You can actually play around the elements and principles of design. It's actually an art, right? Even though what is driving it is what algorithms, but you need to be able to kind of will that to your own taste. So you need to look at some of the elements of design like line text and color value, shapes, form. How do we use all these things to get exactly what we want? So this is just a recap. We took time in the last section to, break some of these things down. So we're not going to do it again. What we're going to be doing is playing around these soul metrics, like when we get an image, if it's not what you want, to be able to kind of define exactly what you want. So for this class, we are not going to be just, dwelling on how the image do, but actually we are going to be focusing on the principles of getting exactly what we want from AI. So I equally mentioned in the last lecture that we are going to be looking at processes, because you need to give it an input, right? You have to enhance it. Images are divided into parts, okay, and then feature extraction, interpretation, and output. What you have on this slide doesn't really concern you. These are actually for those that do machine vision, right? Because they need to understand the principle. So um at the background, this is actually what is happening, right? So when you are giving prompts like that and getting outputs, so a lot of things happen. It doesn't concern you. Images are changed from are broken down, feature extraction. You have something like transforming it to a vector and all that. So it's all mathematics, by the way, that the computer does in a very, very fast rate. So that's none of our business. Let's go to the one that concerns us. So that was just like a recap. So AI image solution application, which is actually the focus for this particular track. So in the last lecture, I mentioned that we have majorly, like broadly, okay, AI image generation tools. And then we equally have AI image editing tools, okay, and then AI image analysis tools. So we're going to be focusing for this particular on generation of what tools. So look at some of those, sorry, generation of images. So we have some tools there, Meta AI, Mid Journey, OpenAI has their own, okay, DAL or DALI. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's inconsequential. Stable diffusion, Hadoop, Firefly. Like I said, most of the time, all you need to get is the principle. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Maybe in the next class, we're actually going to delve into each of them and start, generating images. So at the end of the day, how do we interact with what AI is the same thing, prompting. because here you are not expected to write code to generate an agent or anything like that. You are just to use, and you are using um prompts to interact with these tools. Okay, so this class, that's why we took time to talk about prompting. But as time goes on, we are going to equally be modifying. Just like today, we are going to talk about prompting specifically for images. Because at the end of the day, if you understand the principle, you can use any of these tools. Okay, that's the approach that we are using. So yeah, this is where we actually left off last week. We need to go to hands-on session, okay, for the application and tools. Now, let us talk about the practicals now about prompting. Enough of the theory. When you want to get an image, what are you looking for? Okay. I'm going to break it down into what we call the structure, right? So if you have like well, you can call it also like the principles of prompting for image. So one of the things you need to understand is the structure, okay? And one of the things you need to get is, what is the first thing? The subject. Now, if you are trying to generate an image, remember that image is always about something, okay? That image is always about something. That becomes your subject. I don't think there's anybody that just woke up to try to generate image about nothing. So if your prompt does not actually show that there is an object, okay, that's one. And another thing is environment, okay. Where is the subject located? Style, okay. Um, what kind of artistic style do you want to apply? Is it, like you are looking at things like vibe? Are they happy? Are they like, you need to look at, the settings and all those kind of things. Okay. So, okay, settings about environment, but when we talk about style now, you're talking about what influences the thinking around your projects. I'm going to give example. Now, you now go to details. Sometimes you might not go into details, right? But you see these first two is very important. That's why people generate images. Some of the images I generated, I showed you in the last class, was because I pay so much attention on these things and I want you to learn some of them. Okay. Details, you might not at first understand details. I use details a lot these days, but I'm going to show you how I learned how to manipulate details, because everybody has time for color, texture, lighting, object, and everything. Camera setting, okay? This is actually optional, okay? Sometimes you can say, I want you to create images of students. Let this thing show the back of the student or the front of the class or something like that. So you know the best, okay? Composition. Now, composition is that composition simply means bringing different things together, right? Composition is actually what Photoshop normally does most of the time. Bringing things together, masking you, putting you in an environment and all those kind of things. Then quality enhancer optional also. It depends. So if you look at this, there is a formula that, of course, I will share this document after the class. Like, what is the subject? What is the action, environment, style? Okay, lighting, mood, composition. Now, I have given a template, right? You can copy this template and try and see if you can generate images. So this is a practical class. I'm going to pull up my WhatsApp and then I'm going to try and see if we can do some practical with all these things now. So let's go further, right? If you look at this template, this is, like I said, you can reuse it. So you can copy it and modify it. So you start with imagine, for instance, if you are working with WhatsApp, which is Meta, I always start with imagine so that it knows that it's actually an image that I'm looking for. Because if you type this thing, it might give you a text response. So I'll say imagine an object doing an action in a particular environment, in a particular style, with lighting. Is it dark? Is it light? Lighting can equally go for environments where you can say if it is a cold region, if it is a warm region, or the climate or the weather, the mood, the color palette, if you understand color, then the composition, and then include some of these details and the things to avoid. So there's what they call negative items. For instance, if you don't want um like okay, maybe a text write-up, say please don't put a text. That's what they call negative. So you equally have to be explicit, right? So having said that, I want us to, so what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be looking at these prompts, and then to apply some of the things we have done, okay, I want us to look at these prompts together. Now, this is a basic example of a prompt. Now, I want to generate an image. You see, some of those things I mentioned, I have applied it in these prompts, okay? So what you guys might do is I'm going to drop this thing in the chat. Use WhatsApp, right? Use your WhatsApp to try and see what this thing will generate. Okay. And if you have enough bandwidth, you can post it back on the chat, so that we want to make this very interesting and engaging. So if you look, so that you don't have to repeat all these things here, if you look at the chat, I'm going to be dropping it there right now. Okay. Please, Imole, confirm that is in the chat now. Hello, can I still be heard?
Yes, you can be heard, sir.
Okay, so I want us to do this together, right? I'm going to copy this, right, and put it. Okay, so let's see what we'll do. Okay, somebody has confirmed, Esther. Okay, Esther has confirmed that is in the chat. All right, so I'm copying it now, and I'm opening my WhatsApp, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to start with Imagine. So let's use WhatsApp. Why I'm using WhatsApp is that everybody has WhatsApp, right? So I don't need to go into any of this. So what we are doing today is just the principle of design. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now. Okay.
Yes, I can see your chat.
All right, so I want people to copy what I posted and put it right. And I want to see what it's generating on your own end. So I don't know if you guys can. I think the best way is for us to, post it back on the chat. I don't know how many of you are able to do that, right? So that was the first one. Okay, fantastic. I have seen that from Neka. Neka, thank you very much. I like that. If you look at the chart, you see what Neka generated. Um, Let me see if I can. Judith is generating. Judith Africa, Judith. Okay. Hey, Judith is looking like my own. Okay. I want to show you people how this AI something can vary. So what NECA generated is like a real life picture. Okay. Let me share the screen also. I don't know. Let me stop sharing. I think I should be able to share screens now. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, thank you, Sophia. I've seen a lot of images. Sophia, Messi, Esther, and okay, Christopher, Onyinyechi. Okay, so good. I'll stop. Let me just share. Of course, all of you can see it. So, Ojo will say, my laptop has Meta AI. It's asking me to accept the terms of service via my phone, but Meta AI is not yet active on my phone. The icon is not yet there. Can you, I think you need to upgrade your WhatsApp. You need to upgrade your WhatsApp. Now, you can see how basic this prompt is. That's why I called it basic. So I'm going to stop sharing. Somebody's already sharing screen. Okay, so no image is the same. Yes, that's the truth. Okay. So let's continue. Now another one, right? We are going to look at another prompt. Okay, this is the first one. Now, what you will notice, let me share the screen again. So what you notice is that why is it basic? There isn't much kind of details in this, right? A black software developer sitting at a desk coding on a laptop. So there is a subject, and you can see there is an action, right? Okay, modern tech office environment. Now, most of you will notice that all we have generated is 2D illustration. So there's what we call illustration, right? Illustration is mostly like a vector-like kind of image. We talked about bitmap and vector. So whenever you are using vector, in fact, there was a time illustration took over the design world because everybody was using illustration, right? I'm going to show you what illustration means. So you will see that some of the pictures are really similar. And the similarity there is because we set it as flat 2D illustration, clean and professional style, okay, soft color palettes, minimalistic shape, wide hero image layout. Right. So let's look at another prompt. I want you to pay attention because these are the small things that make the difference, right? Another prompt is we have this, okay? So I'm going to drop this also in the chat. Okay, let's see what people are able to generate with this. You begin to notice some differences. Okay, if you are, please use WhatsApp, please use WhatsApp. If you have other image tools, let's just use WhatsApp because it's going to be easier for us to, communicate. Okay, so I'm dropping it on the chat now. So let's use it again. Let's just do the same thing. Okay, let's just do the same thing. If you check the chat now, you have another one. A confident young African female engineer wearing a yellow hat, holding a digital tablet, standing in front of a futuristic refinery plant, semi-realistic 3D, not 2D now, warm lighting, detailed facial expression, centered composition. Oh yeah, everybody, let's see what you are able to do with this. Copy it. Me, I'm doing it already. Okay, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to WhatsApp, Meta. So, all right, let me share my own. Um, of course, you can see others on the charts. Okay, so this is what I was able to generate. This is what my own looks like, right? Yeah, so I copy the same thing, right? So let me go to the charts and see what people have generated. Now, if you look at the charts, you will see that the things have started changing gradually. Okay, things have started changing. No two image. I like that observation. No two image are the same. Okay, it is hardly the same because there are a lot of randomized parameter. But you could see, right? If you are doing something like an advert for this particular thing, you know, this is fantastic. Like even if it's a website or something, you can see you're already getting there. So I'm just giving you like I don't know how you're going to do your own. I'm an engineer, so most of the things I'm doing is something that relate to me. If I want to say we are hiring, for instance, I'm not going to say give me an image of a company that wants to hire people and everything. It's not going to make any sense. Okay, so you need to think, what do you want to see in the image that you are going to generate? It's not about the usage where you want to use it. It's about what do you want to see. Maybe I can say we are hiring like a female engineer, okay, specifically female engineer that's going to be working in an oil and gas industry, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, why I'm giving this from is I've done it before. So you could see, when you see my flyer like this, you go, wow, this guy is so, I am not a graphic designer, okay, but AI has come to the rescue and I have the power in the world to bend AI into my own will, right? So others, I want you guys to, if of course, look at the chat, see what other people have generated. How I wish I can share, hold on, how I wish I can share the chat, okay, for the sake of recording. Um, hold on, let me share. Okay. Okay, let's continue. I'm not able to share. So let's go ahead, right? Thank you very much for those that participated. I think I really appreciate, everything. Now, let's go a little bit further. Please take note of all these things, right? I know that we are limited with time today, but now let's look at this one. I'm going to paste it also. So this is how I want this class today to go. Okay. I'm sharing now. You can see my screen. So I am copying this particular prompt also. I'm going to paste it in the chat. So this is applying some of the principles that I just shared with all of us. Okay. Go to the chat. I'm going to drop another one. So let's see. Now this chat is saying a professional web hero. Okay. A professional web hero illustration. Now you're going to see illustration again, showing a diverse tech team collaborating on a large holographic UI interface, flat modern vector style, blue and purple gradients, okay, wide composition, clean negative space for text on the left. Okay, so please confirm that the chat has been dropped. So I want you to see that the way this thing is called, like, just see, imagine yourself like you are an artist. That's why I say principle. Yeah, if you look at the slide that I shared before now, it's something like principle of design, right? So you are an artist, you are creating this thing. You can see how some of those things you used to copy from Facebook, from if you want to do a design, and you're going to copy people's images, so you can generate your own. Okay? So these things are possible. I'm showing you how some of the adverts that you see, even people that are developing websites, you are looking for your UI UX, is it UI UX person, and you need some elements. Don't go and copy images, right? Do these things. You can see I want to show you that some of these things you have been seeing online, you can do them. So let us pay attention to, that. So I'm going to do it myself as well, and I'm going to share my own. How I wish I'm not able to share the one. I'm seeing very fantastic images, but I'm sure even if I can't share it, some of you, all of you are seeing the chats, what people are generating. So I'm going to share my own right now. So stop sharing. I'm sharing again. So look at it. So this is what mine generated, right? You could see. So these things are very, 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 very possible, right? So don't overthink them when you say, oh boy, how did they design this thing and all that? No, you don't have to. Imagine, let me tell you why I love this whole idea of AI. This thing before now is something someone will go to Adobe Illustrator and start designing, okay? Or someone will go to stock photos. Either you design it yourself or you go to stock photos where people have designed and buy it. Or you go to Google and research it and download it. But the disadvantage of that one is that there's ethical uses of all these things. It is not your own. You download, you're not going to use it for someone's website. Okay? Do you know that you can be sued? The company that you're designing it for can actually be sued because it's not original. So what AI is, the power AI, remember I said, first of all, discover what AI can do and then what you can make it do. So you could see from what we are experiencing now that it has given us different designs. So let me look at the chart again. It's very interesting. So I can see a lot of designs. Virtue is song. Fares, thank you. Nneka, Theodora, Christophine, Onyinyechi, You can see Afokongene's own and Judith's own. So Mercy, Lydia. So you could see how similar these things are because of the prompts. Okay, the prompt is very, very, very important. So what prompt did we give? Let me share it again. Okay, so the prompt we gave is a website hero image prompt, a professional website hero illustration showing a diverse what tech team collaborating on a large holographic UI interface, flat modern vector style, blue and purple gradient. You can see why the color. Remember, I mentioned some of these things, blue and purple gradient, white composition. Okay. You can see that it gives. Why did I add this part of it? Someone might ask. Clean negative space for text on the left in case I want to use it for a flyer so that you don't use design and fill up everywhere. So these are the kind of things that you pay attention to when you are generating image. So let's go ahead, okay? So now, there's equally what we call diagram prompts. Okay, sometimes some of us might be struggling with diagram. Okay, so I'm going to copy this prompt again. I'm going to drop. Again, we're going to do the same thing. All I need you to do is take the prompts and go to WhatsApp and see what works I'm giving you. Now, I'm sure that some people are beginning to realize, hold on, I've been using this WhatsApp for a very long time and be chatting. I don't know that this thing can come up with this fantastic. So look at the group again, the chat on this course. I've dropped something else. So someone is asking, how do you know those steps to use in constructing problems? Don't worry, that's why you're in this class. Don't worry, that's why you're in this class. We are going to get there. We are going to get there. Now you can see that it's not about tools. No, it's about the principle. So my own approach is to actually direct you towards the principle. If you notice, for instance, if you a custom GPT, and if you go back and watch that video, a lot has been said, a lot has been transferred, a lot of information has been given. Okay. Now, if you talk about prompting, normal text prompting, you see how we started from the LLMs and everything, broke down the principles of prompting. Some of you, when we give a text, some of you, the guideline, and then jumping on these things. So I'll copy this also, and then go to my WhatsApp and paste it and see what is able to generate. So I'll answer those questions, right? Okay, let me see. So I'm sharing what is able to generate in my own. You could see. So again, a labeled diagram of neural network showing input layer, hidden layer, output layer, and all that. So this is not what I expected. Okay. Now, when you have something like this, you can try as much as possible to fine-tune it. I'm looking at what other people generated, right? Let me look at it again. So one thing you will notice is that so for WhatsApp now, WhatsApp is very poor in text because you can see the spellings that you are getting there. Okay. Now pay attention. There's a reason why I give this particular example. So what I'm seeing here is exactly what I expected. Okay? So I'm going to use this opportunity to teach something. Please, if you have not been paying attention, this is the time to pay attention. So I'm going to now share a web app, sorry, a web distance. So pay attention because the reason why I gave this particular prompt was because of what I was expecting in terms of what to generate. So now, everyone, I want you to pay attention. Okay? Pay attention. So I'm going to share my screen. And Imole, this is very important. I want you to confirm that my screen is visible. Now, this is important. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So please, everyone, pay attention. So I'm going to use Google. There's something I want us to pay attention. So I'm going to use Google now. I'm going to say neural network. Sorry, network diagram. And I'm going to, somebody asked the question. I'm answering the question about how do you know blah, 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 right? So this is a neural network diagram, okay? I'm going to click on image. This is Google. It's going to give me a bunch of images, right? Now, this is what I'm going to do. Now, if I choose, let me choose this one, okay? I've opened this image, okay? Now, I am going to open a ChatGPT, okay? I'm going to open a ChatGPT. Now, this is the image I want, right? So I'm going to download this image. Let me see whether I can copy it and paste it directly. I'll copy this image. My ChatGPT is loading, okay? So here, I'll paste, let me see it. Okay, the image is pasting. So I copied this image, right, and pasted it here, right? This is actual image of, because what we are seeing is not actually a neural network, okay? So after pasting this picture, for those that are looking for the words to use, this is how you begin to learn it. So what you are going to do is say describe this image. Okay. I think I should zoom in a bit. Okay. So I'll say describe this what image. I'll say enter. Now, ChatGPT is going to make an attempt to describe the image. Okay, I see it. Description of the image. Deep neural network, blah, 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 right? Overall structure, purpose, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm going to look at all these things. There are certain words I wouldn't have gotten exactly correctly. Okay? So what I will need to do is I'll copy this because the description has been given to me. Okay? Now I'll copy it. Then I will minimize. Okay, let me now stop sharing and I'll go to WhatsApp now. I'll stop sharing. Then I will share my WhatsApp. So this is my WhatsApp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste what I copied now, but I'm not going to send it. So I'm going to modify it a bit. This image is a diagram. So what I'm going to do, I say, imagine a diagram. So I'm going to say, imagine. So this is now me not being able to generate all the text by myself. I needed a little help. Okay. You can see, create a diagram with a deep neural network showing how data flowed through multiple layers. So you could see, right? It is better than the one I shared in the group. Okay. Okay. Description of image, title, blah, 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 blah. So let me leave it like this and see what it's going to generate. So I'm going to share this with everybody. And now we are going to determine if we need to do further fine tuning. So, Everybody look at the chat. I'm going to deliver this. Okay. Okay. So look at the chat now. Let's copy it and see if there's going to be any change. I want you us to like, so I'm doing mine now. I've pasted it. So everyone, let's see. Interesting. Okay. Is it only wisdom? I've seen only wisdom. Okay. Judith's one is coming up. Okay. Neka, Christophine. Wahala. So you could see that at some point, this thing will not give you exactly what you. So this is to show you exactly that AI is not perfect. Okay. So you might have to do more. One of the things I taught you now is how to get image. Now let me share my screen again. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I want to show you something. This diagram, you can see that things that look simple are even harder, right? So let me use something else now. For those that were asking, how do we know exactly what to do? So let me say, I want an image of maybe um futuristic um
We can no longer see your screen, sir.
oh sorry, confirm now.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so let me say high tech image. Okay, so if I say high tech image, now something like this, right? Why I'm showing this thing now, how on earth, okay, if we are realistic with what we are doing now, how on earth can anybody describe this image? Let's be factual, because it is easier said than done. I like the question someone asked, how are you able to know the kind of voice you are going to say and all that? Now, it might not be exactly the same, okay, but you should be able to. Now, example, let me just take one that is complex, really, really complex. Okay. So let me take this image now, for instance. Okay. I like this image, but it's not my own. I can't make use of it. So I might want something similar to it, but I can't even generate the image myself. So I'm going to right click here. I'm going to what? Copy the image and then go to chat. It might not be, it must not be ChatGPT. We're going to talk about other this thing. So I'll paste it here. Okay. I will say describe this image. Now you are going to, and whenever an image is described to you, please note some terms that are used. This is how to gain. You can only improve on this thing by gaining some experience. Okay? Note the terms that are used so that you can when you want to do another one, so this by the time you do multiples of this thing, you're going to become better, even in the West. So I'm answering the question of someone asking, how do you even know what to do? Is as a result of me using this thing over and over again. Okay, so look at this. The image shows a business professional interacting with what futuristic, blah, 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 a hand, this thing. So, um, I am going to copy this whole thing, okay? Visual team, you can see the terms that are used here. Let's look at the terms that are used here, okay, before I copy, because we are here to learn and not just now. Let me go through them gradually, right? So that it will make sense. The image shows a business professional interacting with a futuristic digital interface. So write somewhere in your, experience, or what would I call it, in your database. So you have noted that the word futuristic digital interface is something that, you know, can help. So you can see how you kind of grow your vocabulary of prompts. Okay? A hand, specifically the person's finger, is reaching out forward as if touching or selecting a virtual icon that floats in the air. You see? Virtual icon floating in the air becomes a phrase that you need to probably take note of. This is how to build your terminologies, right? Key effects, human interface, a hand is reaching out, blah, blah, blah. Digital icon around the hand, blah, 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 blah. So I'm not going to pick up, I'm just going to stop somewhere. Okay, let me stop at the background here before the overall meaning and paste in the chat. Because for WhatsApp, it's not going to accept anything more than 1,000 words. So, so I'm going to divide the prompt into two so that Zoom does not allow a certain number of words. So I'm going to paste this first one, and then I'm going to paste the second one. So check the chat. So all you need to do is combine two of them, okay, in your WhatsApp. So in my WhatsApp, let me share my WhatsApp screen. So I'll start with imagine an image showing a business professional interview. Okay, so let me just see what it's able to come up with. Then try yours. Let's see. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it came up with in mind. So you see, it's not exactly the same thing, but you could see that at least somehow this one is my own. I generated it. Okay. So if I have paid version of Meta AI, I'll remove this Meta logo because I have the license. I've paid for the license of the image generating. You could see how you don't have to start picking, copying people's pictures and all that, without license. So let's see what you're able to generate. Okay. And then so iPhone Michael, nice. iPhone Michael is closer to mine, I can see. Esther, nice. Nneka Theodora Obi, fantastic. Nneka, your own has three hands. So sometimes AI can hallucinate. I told you this before. If you check Nneka Obi's own, somebody should go to the chat and see. The man has three hands. So sometimes AI can be funny. So Emmanuel, so okay. Somebody said I think Canva Pro can remove the logo. And that one na Uboju now. Do you think it's that I can remove logo now? Even this one I generated is not to crop it. I am talking about professional ethics. Ethics. No wahala. I don't know. I'm not advising you to go and remove this thing. So and then you say I finally mentioned her. Is this his name or her name? Adeboye. Hold on. Oh. I don't understand wisdom. Wisdom, what did you generate? I'm not sure you are paying attention. So now, what I have noticed in most of these things, you will notice that it is using white people. Okay? So I want you to type in this thing, maintain the diagram, but use a black person for the image. And then everybody share it. This is what we call fine-tuning, right? I want you to change it. Let's use a black person. Okay? Let's use a black person. Let me see what is able to generate. Everyone. Um, Lydia, your own is still a white man. So I don't even understand wisdom. How did you end up here? Okay, you are experimenting stuff, no problem. So I am not seeing the black man. Oh, please, I want us to use black person, whether a man or a female, please. Sorry, I can't understand image yet. This feature will be added to you soon. Judith, which Vera, is that a black person? Or are they still generating the first one? Or is it that my network is slow?
Your network is not slow, sir. I think most persons have generated the previous one and want to share. So they'll just be sharing the black one.
Okay. Somebody has shared black. Neka, what is this? What is this? Fares, you are there. Even though your finger is missing where the thing is touching. This AI can be funny at times, Sha. Um, so Judith is asking, that's what my meta is saying. I don't know. Safia Muhammad, I think I love this. I love your own. Low cuts. Now you are talking. Esther, nice. It is still, Somebody should check whether Wisdom's phone is hacked or whether he's following this class at all. Because what I'm seeing from Wisdom is really scary. So iPhone Michael, nice. iPhone Michael, nice. So if we could see that, man, there's no amount of design. So what I'm just showing you is just after now, I want you to imagine like everything. So what I'm showing you now that even the ones you cannot describe, because someone was asking, how do we get? No, you don't have to. Nobody's going to like there are description of these images, and those description are all those elements of design I showed you people hanging in the air. That's what we are talking about. Space, all those the icons and everything. You could see how the weddings of the prompt that can bring in some of the things you used to see. So the exact words that you can use. So I love what I'm seeing. Okay. So at the end of the day, right, I'm going to go back to the slide, right? Lydia, finally, Lydia is there. Emmanuel is still giving me white people. And your finger is away from. And then you say, my meta don't like black people. Now lie. You are the one. Give it a prompt. Force it to give you black people. Some of us, the meta AI can't generate images with this prompt. But others are using, okay, well. Nice. I'm seeing more images. Look at, they are all using meta. Anyway, remember I said the principles is, I'm just teaching the principle. I'm using WhatsApp because it's easier. Everybody has WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is not actually the best. If WhatsApp can do this, now imagine what proper AI diagram tools will be able to do. Okay, we're going to go to Dale very soon, but not in this class. But I'm just giving you guys the general principle. So let me stop sharing on my own. You can see that what you generated, none of them they are the same, but you can see the concept is the same. So if I see a flyer that has this kind of thing, I'll just take it, go to this thing, understand this. I can tweak it if it is white or black or something. You can go into the element, read. So what I want to charge some of you to do tonight is get enough images, upload it to ChatGPT, read. You are reading and you are building the vocabulary of your prompt generation, because that is what is going to separate you from every other person. So it's a serious business, right? It's a serious business. So to round up the class, I have few minutes to go. So let me just go back to the slide, please. Okay, go back to the slide. Imole, confirm that the slide is available. It's visible, sorry.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so yeah, so diagram prompt, right? A clean infograph. Infographics means a graphics that shows information. Okay, so some of you might have seen infographics and all those kind of things. You can even get an Excel sheet and probably put it in, and you tell it to use the information in the Excel sheet to generate blah 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 blah, all those kind of things, depending on the AI tool they are using. Example is a clean infographic showing the evolution of AI algorithm from 1950 to 2024. Timeline format, minimal icons, okay? Thin line vector style, white background, modern and simple layout. Again, I know this can be very intimidating when people see this kind of thing, all right? So other ones like a modern 2D flat illustration of young African tech innovator brainstorming around a digital board with holographic UI diagram, futuristic office background, blue teal is actually a color theming now. Gradients, okay, theme. I'm going to share this slide so you can actually build on this vocabulary. Wide halo banner composition, clean and minimal, no text. So no text, remember I told that negative prompt. So no means please don't add any text in this one. Okay. Another one is that a clean process flow diagram. These things are related to tech and engineering. Please, if you are into cooking, catering, confectionaries, and everything, I want you to begin to direct this thing towards your own field. Okay? Input processing segments, feature extraction, interpretation, output vector icon style, and all those kind of things. So most of these things are not be me generator more. I use some prompts to go and I use some images to generate prompts for myself. Common tips in image generation. Okay, I'm going to rush through this one. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. Okay. So I'll use the last 3 minutes that you're waiting to just share something, but this is not going to be a slide. It's something that I actually got that is part of the way of answering the question. More like confirm that the screen is visible. I have just 2 minutes to do this. Is it? Hello?
I can see your
What
screen.
are you saying? What are you
Common tips in image generation,
Okay,
African
good.
made of.
Yeah, so now common things in image generation, this is where I'm going to end. Like some of the concerns about how do we so these are common things. For instance, you can say like African female, okay, black software developer, young adult. So this is actually subjects, right? Now you can go to confidence, smiling, thinking, studying, and all that. Okay. So hello, Imole,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me? So
Yes, I
what
can
I'm
hear.
going to do, what I'm going to do is this material now. I'm going to share it because we have to stick to time. I'm going to share this material on Discord as PDF and also on the LMS as part of the materials for this so that people can go through it. Maybe in the next lecture, I will touch on it. Okay, so we need to keep to time because of the other classes that are coming after now. So I think I have to close it here. Thank you, everyone, for joining the class. We are going to continue. This is just the beginning. There is a lot that people are taking for granted in this whole AI thing. So, what about the PDF for the last class? Okay, I'm going to go to the LMS. I'm going to go to the LMS and actually upload it. So, I'm going to clean it up now after this class. Anything that is pending. All right. So, Imole, if you can hear me, maybe you can close the class, stop recording, and all that. Sorry about the the network, of course. At least I'm sure that we're able to take one or two home. So we are